Today is November 9th, 2024. 144 series video number 3, the tropical system. And on this day, the moon is now 7 days into its new moon cycle. So from the first crescent to the 7th day is a half waxy moon. That happens every single month, exactly from the first crescent to the 7th day, half waxing. Please go outside and you will see for yourself that it is exactly a half moon. Pretty cool. So real quick, we've established that the sun is doing 1 degree a day, incline or decline, and the moon is doing an average of 13.22 degrees a day. 1 plus 3 is 4, 2 plus 2 is 4, making 144. And that is why I call it my 144 series. This harmonic frequency of the sun and the moon, like a musical instrument. So now I will show you what day 4 looked like here. So this being the 4th day of the new lunar cycle that started in Sagittarius, it is moving towards Aquarius. And when it's in Aquarius, at the end of Aquarius will be the 7th day. So this is obviously not half yet because it's only the 4th day, but it will be half exactly on the 7th day. And that's one way you can go out and test and see what I'm saying is true. From the first crescent to the 7th is a half waxing, to the 7th is a full. And the 14th day often comes up in the Bible celebration periods. It says on day 14, do this or that. Those are full moons. This is how the Bible lunar system works. Starts from a first crescent, and the days are counted in this way by the moon phases from the first crescent. And it's also where the Jewish religion still uses these first crescent moons to mark their holidays. So, for example, this year, Hanukkah will end on the first crescent in January. I believe it's January 3rd. It's the first crescent, and that's when Hanukkah will end. So they'll use them as beginning markers, end markers, or the full moon when it comes to Passover. They're not the only religion that does it either. The Muslim religion also uses the first crescents to start and end Ramadan. So it should be obvious by now that the moon is pulling away from the sun. And what that means is two-dimensionally, we can see it moving in these 30-degree chunks on this sky wheel. But it also means three-dimensionally, the sun would be here in Scorpio. So as it pulls away two-dimensionally in a circle, it's also pulling away three-dimensionally in height. So at the end of the Aquarius, it's going up the vortex, where Scorpio is going down the vortex. So Aquarius here, we would have the moon here and the sun here. They're starting to pull apart. This is not properly scaled, so just keep that in mind. It's just to help visualize. 90 degrees, they're pulling apart like this and like this. Height too. And it is still in Capricorn. We got Venus right over there, the sun setting over to the right. And you'll notice how the moon and the sun, they start to pull apart further and further from each other. If you imagine it in degrees, if the sun's over there, 30 degrees, end of Capricorn will be another 30 degrees. So that'll be 60 degrees. And they'll keep pulling apart like this until it's a full moon. And what day 5 looked like here. This being the 5th day, you can see that it's not quite at half yet. So it'll be half on the 7th day, and it continues to pull away from the sun. So why does that pulling away effect happen? What's going on? So the best way to explain that is to think about a line of people with their hands connected, and you spiral them all up like this. So they're all holding hands and they're in this spiral. So as a spiral of people moves, what happens is the people in the center are just moving real slowly, where the people on the outside are running to keep up. And the moon doing an inside vortex, it's moving slower than the sun. The sun on the outside vortex is moving faster. And then you might say, well, that doesn't make sense because this does all these signs in 30 days. And the sun does all these signs in a year. How's that possible? How is the moon moving slower if it's going through all of this faster? It is going through it faster. The reasoning is this angle where the sun is just doing 1 degree up, 1 degree up, 1 degree up. The moon on this inside vortex is doing 13.22 degrees. Think of like a roller coaster at an angle. It's got a steeper angle going up and down. So it's able to get through these signs quicker, which is also why a lunar year is only 354 days in its year. This is written in the book of Enoch. 354 is an average because there's so much shifting speed going on. That's why we have these shifts in months, but mostly 30 and 29 days, 128 day month. So then the concept is, as this spinning, this vortexing is happening, the moon is moving in towards the sun, centripetal, and then away from the sun, centrifugal. And in that mimics what a Taurus field does. The energy moves in towards the center and then out from the center. And it's in a Taurus field, it's doing that all at once. Okay, just another angle on it here over this house and these trees. Pretty low. And what that means is it's in Capricorn. And what that means is Capricorn is that big circle on the outside of the vortex. So if you were to draw a line straight down from that moon down to the earth, it would be right over what we call the Tropic of Capricorn, that imaginary circle that goes around the earth. That's why this position right here is called Capricorn. So I'm in the north, so above Cancer. Capricorn is low. You can see it low in the sky here. Now, if you live in New Zealand, southern parts of Australia, past the Tropic of Capricorn, on the other side of the Tropic of Capricorn, if you live there, then this is going to look really high to you right now. It is closer to you. So anything close to you in the sky looks high, and anything far away from you in the sky looks low. For example, a sunset always looks low in the sky because it's moving away. But when the sun is at its peak closest to you, it looks high in the sky. High in the sky is close to you. Low in the sky is far away from you. High in the sky for me is Cancer. Low in the sky for me is Capricorn. For New Zealand, high in the sky is Capricorn, and low in the sky is Cancer, because Cancer is way further away from New Zealand than it is for me. This is probably a good place to see the relationship between the sun here that's setting over that hill over there between these houses and the moon right here. Remember, the moon started its first crescent in Sagittarius. So in Sagittarius is 30 degrees. Every one of those pie pieces is 30 degrees. From the sun, you move 30 degrees. That would be one pie piece, and then 30 more degrees, because this is the end of Capricorn for this moon. So they're 60 degrees away from each other. That's how that works. And then at the end of the next sign, they'll be 90 degrees away from each other. So that's what I mean as they start to pull away from each other. Now that's just looking at it two-dimensionally, but you also have to include that they're on a vortex, so there's also height involved. And then that mimics what a Taurus field does. Magnetism moves away from the center and then back in towards the center, constant. And that's how we get those beautiful formations in a Taurus field. And what is the center? The center is the dielectric core. So that's the portal of inertia that allows the magnetism energy to run out and then in on itself. And that's how a magnet works. So this is depicted everywhere, this out and in motion through lots of symbolism, like a yin yang, for example, and the snake eating its tail, and a bunch of other symbolisms. The Egyptians would say all is a tomb, all is one, because there's only one form, which is a Taurus field. So everything is birthed from a Taurus field, if you will, and is a Taurus field. So go watch my other videos explaining dielectric and Taurus fields. But that's all there is. That's how everything works. You understand the Taurus field, then you can start understanding how everything comes together. So sun and the moon are each their own Taurus fields, and then they're having this relationship with each other because of the magnetism involved.